Ladies and gentlemen, we are in tough times. If you're an international student or worker who's been agonisingly waiting for the Japanese borders to open for the past year, then that doesn't mean that your Japanese ability also has to suffer. Here we all are, guys. My name is Ellis, and like most international students and workers, I've been living on standby for the past year. If you're in the same situation, then do subscribe, because I'm going to try and keep morale up during these difficult times. In today's video, we're going to be looking at 5 ways to skyrocket your Japanese language ability, even without the immersion of being in Japan. And now I know it's a difficult situation. I know there's nothing like actually studying in Japan. I know we're all on the ropes a little bit at the moment, but I do believe that there are gains to be made, and there's a lot that we can do with this current situation. Now, the first tip is technical talk, and what I mean by this is that I think this idle time we have right now presents a very unique opportunity to study aspects of Japanese language that we wouldn't really get the chance to if we were in Japan. Now, this might seem a bit strange, but for anyone who's done a year abroad in Japan before, anyone who's studied there, they know that life moves very quick. You're constantly going to new places, meeting new people, you're constantly in motion. There's hardly any time where you're sitting still. And so the likelihood is you're going to be spending a lot less time with your head in a textbook. But this doesn't mean that we should leave our textbooks in quarantine and just forget about them. Because although textbooks get a bad reputation, I think they're very important for focusing on the more technical aspects of the language, the finer details. And what I mean by this is the grammatical differences, the different nuances between vocabulary. Right now, I'm currently working on Shinkansen Master, not Shinkansen Master, Shinkansen Master N1 Kanji. And anyone who's done this book before will probably know that when you get to chapters 9 to 11, you start getting some really mad kanji characters and words, stuff that you really don't hear normally. But this is the thing, right? N1 vocabulary in kanji is very great for nuance. When it comes to reading newspapers, reading novels, reading more formal styles of writing, you will find that you'll be glad you did this study. All of these strange and complicated words and grammatical structures, they will come in handy when you least expect them. And it is extremely worth studying for JLPT right now, whatever level you're at. And there's 2 reasons for this. One, it's going to mean that when you do get to Japan, you're going to be able to take much more advanced classes, and when it comes to just going out on your own little adventures and meeting people, you're going to be in a much better position to be able to communicate and make friends and integrate better with Japanese society. And obviously number 2 as well is very important, because if you can get JLPT N1 or N2, then if you're going to do a job hunt in Japan, then this is very important, because companies are looking for people that have got those formal qualifications. And if you do have N1 or N2, it's going to dramatically increase your chances of getting a job. And when you do get job offers, you're going to have a better salary, because they take that into account if you've got that qualification. So it's worth thinking about into the future. What study can I do now that will make me more qualified, both in soft and hard skills, for when I do eventually get to Japan? Now, my second tip is... That's 4, isn't it? Now, my second tip is a really simple concept. It's streaking. Now, recently I've been reading Atomic Habits by James Clear, and I've been really interested in how to build successful habits that last. And one of the ideas there, and this is an idea that's been thrown around by a lot of productivity gurus out there, and that is streaking. Now, I tried streaking, and I thought it was really weird, because I was doing it, I was thinking, how exactly is this going to benefit my language ability? And I also, for some reason, got banned from my local park, which I thought was strange. But then I realised that it's not streaking in that sense, but rather you do just a little bit each and every day to see how long you can keep it up. And I've been doing this with Japanese and running since about February now, and I've gone over 100 days, and there is a satisfaction in just keeping it up. The thing with streaking is that it means you build on a skill a little bit every day, and over time you will gradually start to really see big results. It's the 1% rule, whereby you get 1% better at something every single day, then that's going to have huge benefits in the long run. And the good thing about this is that even if we don't have the motivation to study, it means that if we just do a little bit and keep it up, then that's going to benefit us really good in the long run. And a really good way to start is with this book, Goiryoku Gungun. And as you can see, you do about 10 minutes every single day, and there's about 50 chapters in here. But what it is just really useful words and phrases which you can take hardly any time to do, but this is a really good way of building up a little streak. Now, my third tip is actually a continuation of the streaking idea, and that is to build up the habit of using the application Anki. which I'm sure a lot of you know, but if you don't, Anki is basically online flashcards. So you can create your own decks, or you can download many online. And the thing is, if we're going to try and build up a streak, or if we're just going to try and do a little bit of study at a time, Anki's really good because you don't even need to cover any new content in a textbook. You can just go through a deck. It's really simple. Since February, I've added over 2,000 flashcards to my deck, but the thing is that you're not doing 2,000 words every single day. You only do a few at a time, and it never takes me more than 20 minutes. In fact, most days I just do 10 minutes on Anki, and that's my study done. And then I can do a textbook chapter if I want, but at the very bare minimum, just doing my Anki decks, just keeping it fresh, just keeping that spaced repetition going, then that's really good for learning new words. Now, my fourth tip is it's hardly a technical aspect at all. So we started with the technical aspects, but this one is a much easier way to study without feeling like you're studying, and that's to just poke your nose in your friend's business, not in a rude way. Don't ask them about the divorce settlements and all horrible things like that, no. Keep in contact with your mates, whether it's through Instagram, Line, Twitter, wherever. Your mates in Japan, your Japanese friends. Give them a call, see how they're doing, just chat in Japanese for a bit, and just make it like you're having a normal everyday conversation with someone. It doesn't have to be deep. I mean, let's be real, our Japanese friends don't really want to hear us moaning every day about the border situation. It's beyond their control as much as it's beyond ours. But still, I really miss my mates in Japan, and just being able to talk to them and just have a normal chat, it really goes a long way. It makes me feel a lot better in terms of the mental health in this time, and it's also good for the Japanese ability as well. So don't be afraid to just shoot them a message, say, "Hi, how you doing?" in Japanese. It's worth a go. A little goes a long way, especially when it comes to just keeping in touch with our friends, because once we do get the chance to go and see them, then there's going to be loads of people waiting for us. So if you haven't spoken to one of your mates in a year or so or longer, just shoot them a little message. Just say, "Hi, how you doing? Looking forward to seeing you soon," and see where it goes. It will go a long way. Now, the final tip, number 5, is designed to help us simulate an environment of immersion, which we can't do because we're not in Japan. But I think the next best thing is by watching TV shows, dramas, being in a situation where everyone's speaking Japanese. My favourite drama is Long Vacation. It's got Kimutaku in his prime, and it's also got other really big stars from the 90s like Matsu Takako. It is a really old drama, but it's got so much style to it. The music's amazing. The theme song is iconic. I sing it every time in karaoke, and it's just a really stylish, really fun, really exciting drama. And every time I watch that, I learn a bit of Japanese, and I'm thoroughly entertained as well. So it's a win-win in that scenario. Other people like TV shows, and there's this program that everyone talks about called Terrorist House, one of the two. I don't know, it's like a bunch of ridiculously good-looking people moving together. One of them's a terrorist or something. I don't know what it's about. It's things like that. You're just immersing yourself the best you can, and we've got to try and do the best with what we got at the moment. So find a good TV show to binge, and even if it's quite passive study, you're still immersing yourself, you're still getting your head in the game. Anything we can do right now goes a long way. And I'll tell you what, I've got a bonus tip. It's literally just come into my head, but thinking about it, the other day I recorded a whole video in Japanese, and I'm really thankful that a lot of people commented and messaged me back about it. It was really nice, and one thing I found in actually making that content, in doing a script and speaking in Japanese to camera, that was a really good way for me to study, work on my pronunciation, work on so many things, because it was hard to do. It was a hard video to make, but by using Japanese in a really active way like that, it did so much good for me, and I really felt like I was getting into that sort of, when your brain switches into a different language. I was managing to do that for the first time in months, and it did feel really good. But you don't have to just make videos. You can make your own blog, you can make your own diary, write in Japanese. Anything in which you're using the language yourself is a really good way to just freshen up those Japanese muscles up there. And again, by the time you get to Japan, all these things are going to culminate, and you're going to be ready to hit the ground running and have the best time in your studies or at your job, whatever you're going to do. And you'll be glad that you put in all the work during this frustrating period. You'll be really pleased with yourself. So I hope you found this interesting, these different tips. These are the things that are really helping me right now and helping keeping me busy, obviously in what is quite a frustrating period. So let me know how you're studying as well, and if you've got any good tips or any good applications or any good textbooks, then do let me know in the comments. We'd love to hear. But yeah, thank you very much guys. Do subscribe, hit the like button. Thank you so much for everyone who subscribed over the past few days, really appreciate it. But yeah, let's keep the morale up, let's keep working hard, let's do our best, and yeah, we'll be glad by the time we do get to Japan. So thank you very much guys, and I'll catch you later.